They had so many cool VJs. The MuchMusic, they were like they were a staple of the MuchMusic channel in general. Ed the Sock was always so goofy; he could always make you laugh. But there was also Rick Campanelli, who was like
Rick
he
the
was
Temp,
always,
right?
And I think he started, but
yeah,
he
Rick the Temp was like the meme before memes.
Yeah, and then he was just like the face of the show, and like he was always friendly.
Isn't he on like Hollywood E or like Entertainment Tonight or something like that? I think I saw him on. That's crazy.
He's doing really well, and
good for him, yeah.
I mean, he obviously made still a good career in TV. So I guess of all the VJs on this list, I mean, there's some heavy hitters near the end there, but I mean, he made a good career of himself. Now, speaking of people trying to make careers of themselves, do you remember the VJ and Amanda Walsh?
I don't. The name sounds really familiar, but I can't picture them in my head.
I'm sure you would recognize the face right away. Now, fun little anecdote. They were just they were always paired with Rick. It was always Rick and Amanda. There was always Rick and Amanda doing. She I think she even was the host of In Your Space, Amanda. But but one thing that's really funny about this is she actually did the pilot for. What's that? Big Bang Theory.
Okay, just a few hours ago, you were completely distraught over the end of your relationship, and now you want to party? That makes no sense.
That makes perfect sense. Allow me to explain it to you in your language. Nerdish.
And she was actually Penny, and they filmed a whole pilot episode with her as Penny, and I think they pulled out of it at the last moment, and then they went to the Haley Cuoco, Cuomo. They switched her out very last minute, so a VJ that you and I would have known to this day could have had that part, and we would have. To this day, I could have brought up Amanda Walsh, and you would have been like the Big Bang Theory girl, but she didn't get the part, and that's not the case.
That sucks for her, but yeah, no, I was definitely more of like the VJs I mainly remember, like Matt that we were bringing up before, Matt Babel or Babel, whatever, the cheese. That's a joke, right? Put the cheese on screen. The cheese is on screen. And Leia Miller, who I definitely had like a just insane crush on growing up. So.
Of course, and she's married to Dallas Green.
They're still married, right?
Of course.
Do we know that for sure? Or?
Yep, no, I've looked into it recently.
Okay, yeah, no, that's awesome then. And yeah, it's the song. What is it, My Girl or what?
The Girl.
The Girl, yeah, like famously about her. I remember hearing a story that like the song was like unveiled at their wedding or something. I don't know if that's true, but that's a cute story if it is. So
yeah, it is cute. I remember one time I couldn't even tell you what movie I was seeing, but I went into the theaters and I saw. I've seen Dallas Green and Leia Miller at the movies as well. I wonder if we were together that time, because there's a very good chance that we were. And maybe. And we saw all of Alexis on Fire. It was all Alexis on Fire and then Dallas Green and Leia.
Mm-hmm. I remember just waving at him, and he just was like, all right.
Bradford Howe was always a funny VJ. He was always just a silly DJ. I think he had the Bradford show. He was just this goofy guy. Like, he could get a laugh out of you. I always thought that, I don't think this is the case, but I always thought when I was watching it that he was actually Ed the Sock. Because there was always this ominous thing about Ed the Sock, because you never knew who he was. It's not the case. He's obviously a different person. You just told me that he was running for something, and I know it's not Bradford Howe, but for some reason I always thought, because they had the very similar silliness and cadence, that they were just so goofy together, and it was just so enjoyable. Do you remember Bradford Howe?
I don't actually. I can't even picture him in my head.
Vomino! From the 45th state. Please welcome Bert and Jeff from The Used.
No, I mentioned before that I wasn't like a huge fan of Tim. Well, I just don't think it was the right job for him. But the first VJ search winner, Devin Saltanique, I really like him. I'm pretty sure he's he works for City TV News now or something like that. I know he does something with the news, I believe, or something like that.
That's cool.
And he was always like the VJ where I felt like he was like the emo kid VJ, you know what I mean? So
Was
like,
he?
Yeah, he was the dude with like the blonde swoopy hair and stuff, and he was like, and I remember him like championing Kanye's 80. Oh god, that's a bad name now, but championing like 808s and Heartbreak, and I remember like I also fell in love with that album when I came out, and I just remember like feeling like for the first time like, oh, there's like a VJ who works at MuchMusic who like actually likes like scene music and punk and hardcore and obviously George Stroumboulopoulos, which is like the iconic MuchMusic punk turned successful punk political activist. George is the GOAT. We love George on this show.
He is the reason the punk show. I'm positive
Going
he is the
coastal,
reason.
I think he started.
Much Loud. Like he still has TV shows to this day. He has House of Strombo, which is like a venue of, I don't know if it's his actual house, but I know that our good friend of the show, Corey, went and saw Behemoth play in House of Strombo's, like it was a very intimate setting, and one of the rules that you had to get into the house was you had to be wearing corpse paint.
That's a good rule. I'm just gonna incorporate that rule into my house in general.
All right, yeah. So next time you see us together, when we're doing the pod, we're just gonna be in full corpse paint.
We should actually do it, by the way. It'd be pretty funny.
Love George.
Only the live ones.
And you know what was
otherwise it's just me.
That was always funny about George Stroumboulopoulos as a kid is you always liked saying his Stroumboulopoulos.
Yeah,
you always,
no,
like you thought it was legit, not real. But I've looked into it. That's his actual last name.
Oh yeah, it looks like probably like Greek or something. Like I don't want to speculate, but that would be my guess. But yeah, no, it's one of those things too where like even that just feels like, you know, like a setup for you to win. You know what I mean? You just have this like ludicrous last name that just rolls off the tongue like perfectly, like George Stroumboulopoulos. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my god! Like, yeah, no, he's like,
he's one of the biggest things to come out of MuchMusic.
Absolutely.
For sure. One of them.